आपका जो क्वेश्चन था.
So, what is the progress on the Gaganyaan mission at the moment? Is it going into January? When is the launch? Any information on what is happening?
So, Gaganyaan Mission is an ongoing program. We have been actively training for it. It is a developmental program, so it is training plus development that is happening simultaneously. So the change that has happened जो हुआ है कि मेरे मिशन के बाद वापस मैं जब से आया हूँ तब से जो भी एक्सपीरियंस हमने गेन किया है वो यूज़ करके उसको एक टेम्पलेट बना के वी आर कंपेयरिंग कि हम जो चीज़ें कर रहे हैं और जो चीज़ें हो रही हैं उनमें कितनी डिसिमिलरिटी है. तो to identify the gaps, because these missions are so complex that you want to be really sure when you send something up. So that is the activity that is happening very intensely. All the systems are being discussed and revised, and philosophy is being checked. Everything is being, so that kind of debrief is happening right now. In terms of the timeline, I don't think it would be right for me to comment on this because I don't have the correct information. But the latest, dates in the data that we are going to target sometime early next year for the G1, and H1 continues to be early 27. That is what Chairman ISRO has commented in the media as well.
So when does your formal training for the Gaganyaan begin?
So in developmental programs, there is a very, it's a kind of a grey area because it is not that right now training is not happening. Training is happening right now as well because when you discuss about systems, when you talk about systems, how to evolve that, you are learning about that system. Right. You are discussing it with the designers. Right. So you are gaining that information. So there has to be, yes, there will be a very formal training process, but it will not be as expanded as other missions. When you get into training, like my mission for Axiom 4, yes. I got into training, I did my training through the mission. So it will not be that compact for the first mission, I think, because we are in a way involved with the program and training for Gaganyaan Mission over years. So that information builds up over time. So there will be a formal training process, but it would not be as long. So we would know when that is formally going to start.
Surendra from Times of India, you have done 7 India-specific experiments, microgravity experiments, and some other experiments along with Axiom. But we just want to know when it comes to Gaganyaan, have you made a curriculum of how many microgravity tests you will be conducting in space? Because you will definitely be the leading astronaut for this mission. Have you planned anything on that?
To either question, the answer is I don't know for sure as of now. That would be decided. Who would be flying and in what capacity, it has not been decided yet. It will be a decision taken by a appropriate national level board. And to the second part, these are very specific questions to something that we are going to do eventually in the H1 mission. And right now our aim is to fly the test mission successfully, and see whether whatever we are planning, it really works, or do we have lessons to learn and apply to our actual mission. So I think we've not reached that stage yet, but we would very soon start discussing what experiments are going to be flying. And in some way, maybe these discussions are happening with some teams, but maybe I'm not exposed to that right now because all the works happens in parallel. So I do not have real first-hand information of what experiments are we planning in microgravity. But I'm sure that some of these discussions would have already started, what we want to do in H1.
So what are the experiments you conducted on board ISS? What is the status of that? Are you also associated with the papers that will come out of those experiments?
Yes, I am involved in the discussions. We recently had a meeting wherein all the researchers came together and we discussed where are we, what are the results that have been discussed, they have seen, and where their analysis is right now. So what has happened is that the 7 experiments have come back at different times from the station. Some have come back with me when I splashed out, and some have come back in a later cargo mission down to the ground. And these samples have been received by researchers slightly later. So the timelines are different for each experiment, but we have seen some initial results, and the researchers are putting it down on paper and being very thorough with the analysis about how they should be. So I think in a matter of months we would be able to see the initial results of what we have been able to do on this station. No, but just to use this question and tell you, the bigger learning has been of how have we been able to enable these experiments in space. That itself is a huge learning. कि वो एक पूरा एक्सपेरिमेंट जो बहुत सिंपल लगता है ग्राउंड पे, उसको जब आप स्पेस में करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो वो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है बिकॉज आपका एनवायरनमेंट चेंज हो गया. तो आई थिंक मुझे लगता है कि ये पूरा इकोसिस्टम क्रिएट किया है हमने, जो हमें समझ में आया कि हम कैसे करेंगे जब हम स्पेस में जाएंगे एक्सपेरिमेंट करके, तो हाउ विल वी डू इट. आई थिंक दैट इज अ वेरी बिग लर्निंग.
Shubhanshu, thanks to your Axiom 4 mission, what are the changes which are happening in G1?
स्पेसिफिक्स आई डोंट थिंक कि इमीडिएट ऐसा कॉनोटेशन होता है कि किसी मिशन को आपने जैसे एग्जीक्यूट किया और तुरंत उसके लेसन्स कैसे जीवन में गए. You have to understand that this is a long-term planning, over a period of years. When will G1 happen, then G2 and G3. So configurations are decided early on. Thereafter, you decide your objectives from each mission. What do we want to learn from G1? हम क्या करना चाहते हैं और G2 में क्या करना चाहते हैं. So I think कि एक umbrella benefit मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ अपने मिशन का, वो ये है कि we are comparing everything that we were doing and we are looking at how things are done elsewhere. और ये प्रॉब्लम्स ऐसी हैं, स्पेस मिशन की प्रॉब्लम ऐसी है कि इनका कोई एक सही सोल्यूशन नहीं है. इट इज़ नॉट वन राइट आंसर. यू कैन डू दिस इन 10 डिफरेंट वेज. व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इज जस्ट वेरीफाई द रोबस्टनेस ऑफ व्हाट वी आर डूइंग. सो दैट एक्टिविटी इज हैपनिंग. सो आई डोंट know exactly, or I don't think that there is a direct change in anything that we are doing in G1, but yes, the analysis is happening, and if we feel there is a need, those changes will be incorporated.
Shubs, ever since your return from space, have you been in the cockpit of fighter jet?
Very soon I will be. I'm planned to go for my regular currency flying in the month of December, hopefully. So I would be getting into the cockpit very soon, and I'm looking forward to it.
Is this a posting or is this
No.
training?
So as a part of your astronaut training, you were supposed to maintain your flying training currency and regularly do flying. So since I was out for about a year, I did not do that, and now since I'm back, so we are back into that regular training pattern. So I would be going for my.
So any preference of aircraft?
So the advantage that we have is all 4 of us are test pilots. So we are not restricted by a platform, so we can go and fly different planes every time. So the last time when I was here before going for Axiom Mission, I flew Sukhoi 30s, and this time I don't know where I'm going, so I'll find out very soon.
So Shubhanshu, I'd like to ask you, when you speak to a child in school, right, almost every one of them says that they want to be an astronaut. But when it comes to the actual number, there are 4 astronauts in India.
Yes.
So what would you say is needed to, encourage more children to come into this field and take part in space missions?
I think encouragement is in some ways already there. The excitement that I am seeing in kids to be a part of this is existing. They want to be a part of this. And what you're highlighting is something very true. Not everybody will be able to become astronaut, but that is okay. I think the inherent nature of space missions is such that they are very exciting. They kind of enthuse people when you talk about space. So they can be a part of these space missions even if they are not astronauts, in other capacities, by being scientists, engineers, researchers, or medical professionals or designers, anything. So I think that is what is more exciting. What is needed is that we need to create a framework to allow these kids to be a part of this. How many more can be involved in this? And that is not only the responsibility of ISRO, I think. It is also the responsibility of the private ecosystem that is up and coming in our country and thriving. So we saw today some young entrepreneurs who were sitting in the hall and who are doing great, going to be launching our first private rocket very soon, and satellites are already being launched. So I think it is very exciting. So this excitement is what is there in the kids, and now we have to take them from the classroom to the actual world, real world outside, where they can be a part of this space story, India's space story, in the new coming times that is happening right now. And I think it is going to be a really exciting time.
So what you're saying is that a little boy or girl can plan on being an astronaut, but would end up being a great scientist.
I'm not saying that at all. You are convoluting what I'm saying. I'm saying today
The potential would be there.
A boy or girl in India can dream of becoming an astronaut, and I can actually fulfill that dream. When I was a kid, I could probably dream, but I couldn't be an astronaut in India because we didn't have a human space mission. Today that is not the story. Today we have a human space mission, and we will have a possibility for kids to be astronauts. And this would be a recurring thing, on and off again, and people would be coming and going. But my point is that no one travels to space alone. You don't go to space alone. I went to space, but it took a team of thousands to send me to space. And each and every one of them is equally important. And that is the power these space missions hold. So the kids, when they dream of being an astronaut or being an engineer or being a researcher, they are as important as the person who is actually traveling. So all of them are really necessary, and all of them need to be celebrated to make such missions happen.
I think we can take one last question.
शुभांशु, प्रधानमंत्री ने आपको होमवर्क दिया था, वो होमवर्क पूरा किया, और क्या प्रधानमंत्री से उस पर मार्क्स मिले आपको अभी तक?
होमवर्क पूरा हुआ है, होमवर्क चल भी रहा है, और होमवर्क का स्कोप बढ़ता ही जा रहा है जितना हम उसको करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. प्रधानमंत्री जी से मार्क्स अभी नहीं मिले, उनसे इसके बारे में वार्तालाप नहीं हुई है, लेकिन हमारी मेहनत जारी है और आई थिंक बहुत बड़ा विजन है एक उनकी तरफ से कि जो जिस तरह से वो भारत को देखते हैं कि स्पेस के क्षेत्र में भारत का जो रूप है आगे आने वाले सालों में वो कैसा होना चाहिए, तो उन्होंने तो बहुत ग्रैंड विजन बना के रखा है, उन्होंने बता दिया है हमें। अब जिम्मेदारी हमारी है कि हम उसे पूरा करना है हमें, और हमें उसे वहाँ तक लेके जाना है। तो वो काम चल रहा है और जल्दी ही आप उसके रिजल्ट्स भी देखना शुरू करें।
Have you interacted with your astronaut brothers, and have you shared your experience of space with them? And have you also interacted with the humanoid Vyomitra that will be going as part of the uncrewed mission?
It's just part of the question. After you came back, did you speak with Rakesh?
Oh, yes, I know. Not just after I came back. I've been speaking to sir, regularly when I was there in US, and even now, recently, just the day before, I spoke to him, and I kept talking to him. He has been like a very experienced guide to me and a mentor to me for this entire thing. And to your question specifically, we essentially live together, all four of us. It is. So we train together and we are there in the same building. So experience sharing and everything, it happens on a regular basis. We talk and we discuss the missions that have happened, and we also discuss how we should be enabling, the entire ecosystem for human spaceflight missions in ISRO as well. So these are regular discussions that we keep having.
And what about the interaction with Vyomitra?
So I had an interaction with Vyomitra before going for this mission. So I had interacted with Vyomitra, but after coming back, I have not had a chance.